Hello, my fellow music lovers. Thanks for coming by the channel and checking things out. I got 5 bands for you that I think should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that are not in there. And I'm going to give you the list. And before you say anything about any of them, because I know you can't please everybody, and somebody might say, no, what are you kidding me? They shouldn't be in there. I got one word for you. Tupac, all right? He's in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So I almost feel like I don't even have to justify the names that I'm bringing up, because I just got to tell you, well, Tupac's in there, Madonna's in there. They're not even rock and roll, and they're in there. The bands that I'm going to give you are no doubt legends, okay? Number 1, Bad Company. Why isn't Bad Company in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I mean, Paul Rodgers, you heard the voice on this guy? They have no doubt been a major influence, just like the Steve Miller Band, who were in there too. So we got to give it to Bad Company, right? All right, that's number 1. Number 2, the Doobie Brothers. All right, why aren't the Doobie Brothers in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I mean, I kind of get the feeling like, when you were in, maybe back in gym class in high school, and they're picking teams for basketball, and there's a last kid standing, nobody wants him, and he's kind of looking back and forth like, who the hell's going to pick me, and what's wrong with me? That's what I get the sense of with the Doobie Brothers. Why aren't they in there? Everybody else is in there. Like the only band left from the 70s, it seems like, that hasn't gotten picked yet. They've had a lot of records sold, a lot of hits. They survived a lead singer change from Tom Johnston to Michael McDonald. Yeah, he took him in a different direction. Maybe a little bit adult contemporary, yeah. But look, I mean, they blew up. Success, major success. You could almost make the argument that Michael McDonald should be in there, all right? So let's put them in there, the Doobies. Number 3, Pat Benatar. All right, you got Joan Jett in there. How does Pat Benatar not qualify? I mean, in my opinion, Pat Benatar blows away Joan Jett in every aspect. She had more hits. I think she was a better influence on women in rock. She did things her way. It was her way or the highway. And you may not get that from Pat, but she's feisty. And she fought the record labels. They wanted to turn her into this sex image, and they wanted to use her sex appeal to sell, and she fought that, and she did it her own way. And you'd have to put her husband Neil. She probably would say, look, if I'm going in, my husband Neil's going in, and I think rightfully so. He's an amazing songwriter and a guitar player, and he's been with her ever since the start. So you got to put in Neil and Pat. Okay, number 4, Iron Maiden. Okay, if we're going to start putting in metal bands like Metallica, you can't avoid Iron Maiden. These guys helped to define the genre of metal into the 80s. And they influenced a band like Metallica. I mean, on the latest album that they put out, they did a cover song of a Maiden song from I think it was Killers. They did Remember Tomorrow was on there. And Maiden is another band that survived a lead singer change, and they took off, like nobody's business. I mean, they went from Paul Di'Anno to Bruce Dickinson, and need I say more about the success that they had with him? So you got to put in Maiden, okay? Number 5, final one, you got to put in King Crimson, okay? If you're going to start putting in Genesis and Yes and Rush, you got to put in my opinion, the godfathers of prog rock, King Crimson, Robert Fripp, an amazing band. I got to see them recently in DC last year. I mean, one of the best concerts I ever saw, and you would never think that this band was almost 50 years old. Yeah, lineup changes every other week, or so it seems. Robert Fripp is not afraid to clean house whenever he sees fit, but whatever he puts out there is top notch. The only band I can think of that reinvents itself and comes back stronger and comes back fresh and exciting. And they're fearless. They always have been. A guy like John Anderson, I got to interview him. As a matter of fact, I got to share that with you on this channel at some point soon. I got to go dig that up. John Anderson told me that when he saw Crimson, he freaked out. He was like, we got to up our game. You know, this is probably why Yes started rethinking, all right, who we got in this band and where do we need to tweak some things. Crimson made a huge impact on prog and a lot of other bands too. So I want to know what you think. All right, Bad Company, Doobie Brothers, Pat Benatar, Iron Maiden, and King Crimson. Those are my 5 picks, bands that should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Remember, Tupac is in there, Madonna's in there. Why can't we put these dudes in, all right? Put your comments below. Let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you soon.